I'm TS, and we have about 8 days to go before the election, and hopefully I won't have to make all of the videos that I've been working on scripts for. I've been writing in this politics folder for a couple of months, and I've just hesitated making any of these videos because I just hope upon hope that all of this goes away in a week or in however long it takes. But the point of this video is that I learned a new word, and that word is sanewashing. Lord Dumptan is so unhinged that people have to be out here inventing words to describe what's going on. Sanewashing is basically his sycophants and the mainstream media talking about all of the nutty crap that he says and does, and just acting like, oh well, it's just another day in American politics. It's wild, man. It's wild. I read one article that said he basically has been coming up, for the last 2 months, he's been coming up with a new conspiracy theory every 2.5 days. That's how many crazy things he talks about. Every 2.5 days, he creates some new crazy conspiracy theory. But at the rallies, he also has still been going to his go-tos, his greatest hits. Mentioned he's been attacked more than Alphonse Capone. I haven't heard that one in a while. It was good to hear an old standby. His rallies and his podcast performances are quite different. His rally appearances are still completely unhinged. I'm just hoping he drops dead of a stroke or a heart attack at one of them soon. Hopefully not after the election, and hopefully not after he wins at the election, because then we'll get President Shady Vance, and that will be a whole new can of worms that we have to deal with. But we'll talk about some of that a little bit later. His podcast performances, I think he's trying to be a little more low-key, and to me, they just come off as super low energy. He's allowed to talk about some of the crazy things, and really, really just showcases the two sides of his mental decline between the rallies and the podcasts. Sometimes it just seems like he's trying to lose. I mean, he just says things that just are off the wall and just you would never say if you were trying to. I mean, he's only running to keep his lawsuits at bay. That's just the bottom line. He would be in prison by now if he wasn't running for president, and running neck and neck for president at that. It's just bizarre to me. I mean, I think he's just fucking with us at this point. It just has to be. He just comes out with blatant lies about gangs in Aurora that have got the green light to kill cops. Got the green light from who? Like, who is... I mean, if gangs are going to kill cops, they're going to kill cops. They don't need to wait for them to get the green light. It just makes no sense if you take 1 second to think about some of these things. Some of the more dangerous ones, when the hurricanes hit in the South, he's spreading all these rumors that FEMA is trying to take their land. So these people are not letting FEMA in to help them and are refusing water and food and help. And there's just... He makes belligerent statements like, I'm going to stop the wars in 1 day. And Putin says, no way. And I say way. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. These rallies continue to be completely unhinged. It's just proving how dumb his supporters actually are. He left thousands of people stranded in the desert at nighttime in California. He called Arizonans Azerasians. I didn't even know how to spell that. I had to invent a way to spell that because it's not a word, and it's definitely not what you call people from Arizona. He harassed Detroit about how shitty their city was. He said January 6th was a day of love and that no one got killed. They're spreading this rumor, this lie about kids going to school and being reassigned genders in public school. Like, school has an operating theater for them to be able to do that. And like, have you ever tried to get an aspirin at school? Like, they can't even afford school lunches in some places. They're not doing gender surgery on your kids. He switched up and he's talking about Congo, the prisoners, the criminals and murderers coming from prisons in the Congo and from mental institutions and insane asylums, because he can't say prison institutions. I can't say mental institutions without saying insane asylums. It's just part of the sentence now. It's just ridiculous. And my theory, I'm not sure if anybody else has thought of this, but my theory is that he's so dumb that when they told him about immigrants coming here for asylum, that the only thing he could connect with asylum is insane asylums. And so that's why he's been saying that so much. Insane asylums. And then assailant asylum with the weave, insane asylums connects to Hannibal Lecter. And that's why he always talks about Hannibal Lecter. It's just that this guy thinks at a third grade level. Like, it's just insane. Tariffs, his idea of tariffs is ridiculous, and hopefully I'll make a video going in a little more depth about that, about his actual policies. But his idea of how tariffs work is totally off base, and if he's allowed to implement that, it will totally sink the American economy. He had a playlist. Instead of taking questions at a town hall a week or two ago, he's just swaying to music for 40 minutes. He just put on his playlist, just DJ Trump. Half of those artists, the list of artists is like 40, 50, 100 people long, of people that have issued cease and desists that they don't want him playing their music at rallies, and he continues to do so. What about his little rant about Arnold Palmer's Johnson? That's just bizarre. He claimed Michigan gave him a Man of the Year award that doesn't exist. And he wanted to double down on that one so much. He was so proud of that one that he wanted to try to prove somehow. He came up with a newspaper that said he won this award, and it's just not true. What about him and Leon laughing about them basically firing people that wanted to unionize? Hopefully they get some law action against that one. That was just illegal to be talking about doing that. What about some of the lies that he's told about, I don't even call them lies. They're just conspiracy theories because they're just not true. That he's told about Kamala Harris, that she suddenly became black. Black. He says black. Like it's just painful for him to say that word. She turned black. It was like there's a scene in the Ron Burgundy movie where he meets his boss and she's a black lady, and he can't stop saying black, black, you're black, and that scene could be Trump and Harris. It's just hilarious to me. He just doesn't know how to deal with people. Other lies about Kamala Harris. She was first to drop out of the race in 2020, which is a simple Google search. You can find out that that's not true. She used notes in her interviews, and you just watch the interviews and you see she's not using notes. The big one, the one I liked, was that her earrings have transmitters, so somebody's feeding her the answers out of her earrings. That one was wild. What about that she's gonna bring back the draft? Totally not a thing. Totally not a thing. Last one is that she met Putin, and then Putin was mocking her about how easy it was to run her over. And that one's been debunked by Trump's people, by Kamala's people, and by Putin himself. There's just no shame in the things he just says. If he gets an idea, then that's what happened. The last one I wanted to talk about is the bloodbath thing. And I was just going to let that one go, but he kind of doubled down on that one during the Joe Rogan interview. And there's a whole lot that he said during the Joe Rogan interview that's nuts. But there's some other creators out there. Kyle Kalinske, I can't say his name, does a channel called Secular Talk. And other people that have totally tore that interview apart. Totally softball interview. He didn't go into any depth about anything, and Hannibal Lecter still was able to put his foot in his mouth several times. But the bloodbath thing, and sure, bloodbath is a colloquialism for the economy and numbers, and oh, it was a bloodbath, we lost so much money. But in the hindsight of the guy that wrote Project 2025, saying that the change will remain bloodless if the left allows it to, just puts it in the mind's eye that we're talking about blood, is totally a dog whistle for bloodbath. He means bloodbath. And he just had a convenient scapegoat to be able to say that it was a colloquialism. And I'm sure, I don't say that word right, but I'm sure he would never be able to say that word right either. Anyway, I'm going to stop right there. That's just a couple of the ones that were on my mind that I just threw into a list here. And I'm not even going to edit this video. I'm just going to leave all the mistakes in because we have a lot to get to. We only have 8 days. Please vote, and please vote the right way. Let's keep sanity here in the country and in the world. Vote blue. Harrison Walls all the way. See you later.